Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Dr. Sugarna. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. So this particular talk is on the fodder aspect of millets. So millets, how they can be used as fodder, what is the fodder quality that millets possess, and what is the millet fodder production scenario, and the types of millet fodder we can get from millets, that is the green forage and also the stover left after the harvest of grains, and also on fodder conservation, how to make a fodder available during off-season or in other places. So forms of utilization of livestock, as I told, it's twofold. One is the green fodder, we call forage, and then dry fodder. So dry fodder can be consumed as a hay, which is a common practice in most of the villages or wherever it is grown. And then it can also be conserved for use on a later date by making silage or as a fodder block. And this silage and photo block also give a kind of compaction and make the transport somewhat easy. But then again, uh, what is their sale value again depends on what is the demand. So among millets, first we will talk about the green forage, then we will talk about the stover. For green forage, sorghum and pearl millet are very important, followed by the grains stover also. These crops are important. And there is some nutrition also available in other small millets. So when you talk of fodder, we need to have a look at what are the nutrition requirements for the cattle. So water, protein, energy, minerals, and vitamins. So this is similar to what we all need as humans. So, but here because they don't eat much of grains like what we eat, so it is all fodder. They eat three kinds of fodder: green fodder, dry fodder, and concentrates. So they have to provide all the nutrition. And the nutritive value of a fodder is generally uh, the composition, what are all there, protein, how much protein, and here it is fiber, the carbohydrates which is available is in the form of, or it is a non-structural carbohydrate, fiber. Then we have vitamins and minerals. So they give the nutrition value. Then just like how we have the taste and the texture, all those things we have liking for a kind of food. So similarly, the consumption of water depends on what is the palatability of water, and the rate of passage means how hard or soft it is to chew and consume, and then the availability, is it chopped and fed, or it is that the animals have to graze or they have to devour from a plant, and etc. etc. So these two, both the things, the intake as well as the nutrition value, they are both nutrition value. We also call it digestibility, because nutrition is one thing, the nutrition becoming digestible and available for the cattle is another thing. The nutrition value is, when we talk of water, it is affected by so many things: the stage of maturity, harvesting procedures, climate, weather, soil, fertilizers, disease and insect damage, and of course, importantly, the host genotype itself. So here today we'll be mostly talking about the host genotype and maybe a little bit about the stage of maturity, at what stage to harvest, and the sort of things I think are more situation specific. So here it is about the grasses and the legumes. The grass is you have a straight line, and legumes you have a dotted line. So the leafy stage, the bush stage, heading stage, and bloom stage. So these are the different stages of the growth, and how much dry matter is being produced is depicted on the Y1 axis, and on Y2 axis you have the digestibility being depicted. So what we see is the leaves, they have least diameter, and as you go up from leaf to bud, young stage to boot stage, then heading or flowering stage, and then a bloom stage. So the diameter increases and digestibility decreases. So the digestibility decreases, intake decreases. So till what stage? It's about the flowering stage. At the stage of flowering, there is a compromise made. Till then, high digestibility is there, and they cross each other at the stage of flowering. So from our perspective, where we want to have more diameter as well as more digestibility as well as intake. So this is the stage, just at the flowering stage, which we also say 50% flowering, 50% of the flowers have flower. That's the stage where it is good. So again, this is about the composition in terms of protein and minerals. So if we look at protein, that is maximum at germination stage. It goes on decreasing, and again we make a compromise somewhere around the leaf flowering stage, slightly before flowering stage. So if we exceed it, then we have less of protein and minerals. Of course, minerals is one thing in a field which we can also supplement, because we feed concentrates, and also we can have a mineral mixture added to the fodder which is being fed. So mineral supplementation is possible, whereas protein has to be in the plant material itself. Then fiber and lignin. So though protein is coming down, uh, fiber and lignin is going up. So which is again fiber is and lignin both are also desirable beyond some extent. The fiber and lignin are required for the plant for a support system to have a taller stature and so on. Whereas from further point of view, more of fiber and lignin are non-desirable. So we make a compromise somewhere around the flowering stage. So we have sugar and starch as carbohydrates. Then we have in fiber, hemicellulose, cellulose, and lignin. So lignin is not a desirable one. Hemicellulose and cellulose are again part of the fiber, so they have both positive and negative things, and they are more soluble compared to lignin. So it's okay to have more of hemicellulose, especially hemicellulose is highly soluble compared to cellulose. So we have a measure of quality, what is called as acid detergent fiber. So whatever fiber dissolves in acid. So cellulose and lignin, they only dissolve in acid. They don't. They may not dissolve in neutral detergent fiber. So that is NDF. So in NDF you have cellulose which is being digested. So this also goes further. So digestibility is affected by lignin content, and intake is affected by NDF. So if you have semicellulose which is dissolving, so then there is more because hemicellulose is a smoother material, and it makes the fodder more easily accepted by the cattle. So again, just to say, most digestible is hemicellulose, less digestible is cellulose, and lignin is indigestible. So whereas fiber is a component of the fodder. So we have to make a balance between those things. So I was talking about minerals. So minerals, not only that like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus, they are the parts of so many metabolic pathways. So plants get them naturally. Other than that, the external sources like some dirt or sand or bedding, because animals they can't separate just dirt and sand like we do, and they eat whatever is there. The fodder what they eat comes with all kind of stuff, and some minerals also sneak through. And ash is also added. Ash can be added, which provides minerals to the diet. So measurement of quality. So we have crude protein content measured as total nitrogen. Then we have acid-laden fiber, which gives the digestibility, and NDF or nutrient-laden fiber, which talks about the intake of water or dry matter. So if you see, the relationship is inverse between the fiber content as with the dry matter digestibility as well as dry matter intake. So when we talk of forage crops, so I talked about millets when I started this talk. So we have plenty of options available for the farmers or say dairies to choose from what kind of forages they need to use. So cereal forages, so which are high volume roughage. Roughage is important. Fiber is also important for animals. It's not that only the protein-rich leguminous fodder will do that induces growth, whereas cereal roughages they are very good for digestion and bowel movement, but then they have lesser nutrition, which we call low-grade roughage. So cereal forages are low-grade roughages, especially if you go for the stover. And the forage grasses, they are somewhat better because again in forage grasses, you don't go for a grain yield, you just have a less growing grass. So it will have somewhat more protein content compared to the cereal forage. But if you have a dedicated cereal forage, like the green forage, that will have a nutrition maybe very good, better than some of these grasses. Then we have leguminous forages, which are rich in protein content and minerals. So we have many examples cited here. I'm not going to read out all those things. And so a balance of cereal forages as well as leguminous forages are important because leguminous forages are less in fiber content, so not so good for digestibility. Then we have annual and perennial kinds of forages. So just to restrict to millets only, we have sorghum and bajra or pearl millet forage as annual forages, and we have Napier Bob hybrid, which is a perennial forage. So what are the desirable traits for forages? So we should be having a multiple trait so that we can have a continuous supply of forage during the crop growth period. So say if you take example of rainy season, so every 15 days we were able to take a cut of fodder, that is good. Then we also have dual purpose varieties. So farmers who have limited land, they want to have both grain and fodder. So after grain harvest, they can have varieties which also have appreciable amount of fodder left. Like again coming to sorghum, bajra, and maize, all those things. And we'll look into their nutrition quality also in the process. Then they should be resistant to biotic and abiotic stresses. So like how we don't like any vegetables with the insects. So even animals don't want to have any leaves which are having fungal diseases or bacterial viral diseases, discolored, and things so on. So those things also need to be taken care, and also the diseases, they also reduce the fodder yield, which again affects the economics of the dairy. Then finally, nutrition quality. So discuss most of the things. Another important thing which I should mention here is about the anti-quality factor. Like it is an anti-quality factor. It reduces the quality of the or nutritional uptake. Then we have silica, that is also anti-nutritional. Then we have some of the toxic constituents, maybe coumarins, you don't have in millets anyway. Then we may have trypsin inhibitors. Then we have what is called as HCN or cyanuric acid in case of sorghum in younger stages, or we may have oxalates in case of bajra. And nowadays we have varieties of these crops which are having very low levels of cyanuric acid as well as the oxalic acid, so I'm not going to discuss about them. And nevertheless, they can also be managed by uh, management practices, a very easy one. Then this is about how important are millets in India from water point of view, for green water point of view. So during the summer season, we have multi-cut sorghum and maize. And during Kharif, we have, in addition, also have the bajra and perennial grasses. We also have bajra napier hybrids, which are there throughout the year, of course, except in those conditions, those places where we have a severe winter, maybe in places in North India, it may be difficult for having any bajra napier hybrid fodder during winter, and also if there is any frost, then the plants are affected. So it is very highly desirable in case of South India. Earlier, there were problems in bajra napier hybrid. There was a problem of oxalic acid. There was a problem of less of protein and more of fiber. And nowadays, you have varieties which are good compared to those days. Then of course Rabi there are no millets. Okay. So then if there is if these Rabi crops are not grown, so then we can go for conservation of fodder for Rabi as well as for summer season. So this is about how much area we may have under each of these legumes and cereal forages. This is green forage, I mean. So we have maximum area under jowar or sorghum and pearl millet and makkah or maize. So maximum is with the sorghum. So we'll be talking more about sorghum in this talk, and there's more area, and also the productivity is higher. The green fodder yield is 35 to 70 tons per hectare. And if you look at the seed market also, it is reflecting. The forage sorghum has the highest, say 55% of the seed market, and this is followed by other crops such as say oats and African tall, that is maize, and then multicut bajra and so on. Okay, so then in forage crops, unlike grain crops, every time the farmers have to buy the seed or has to multiply the seed of the forage crop in their farm. And forage crops, they are not good producers of seed, so even seed production is a problem. So to summarize, the major green and fodder sources of India are millets, whether it is green fodder or dry fodder. About 20 to 60% of dry fodder in semi-arid area is from millets. Sorghum and pearl millet stover, they form the bulk of the fodder in areas where they are grown, because if you see arid and semi-arid regions, the major cereals grown are sorghum and pearl millet. Then finger and barnyard millet, these are all having lesser area. They also have higher palatability, and they can be used to make hay as well as silage. Then proso millet, it is good for horses. Then Napier bajra hybrid is a perennial crop, and it is popular in dairy farms throughout the warmer regions of the country. And if you look at the biomass production potential per day, the highest is in Napier bajra hybrid, that is followed by forage sorghum and then by pearl millet. So if you take sorghum, so we have a sole forage crop as well as dual fodder crop. We almost have a similar kind of area under both the crops. And yeah, this is just to say we have a great deficit of green and fodder supply and demand in India, and it has been continuing. Same thing with the in this green and dry fodder in the projection also. So green fodder we already discussed. I think I go to the next slide. Yeah. So area also we have discussed, and how much seed market is there we have discussed. Yeah, I think we have covered this. I'm not these slides you can go through later on. The details are here. Okay, I'll skip. I'll skip. Just to say, to have a multi-cut trait, there should be a lot of tillers being produced and the plants should be vigorous. Whereas if it is a single cut forage, so single cut forage is a single plant growing tall and is cut at harvest. So this is a typical scenario in a rainfed situation where farmers don't have irrigation and they depend on the rainy season for fodder. Whereas multi-cut forage is a situation where farmer has irrigation and after every cut he is able to give irrigation and maybe even some supplementary fertilizer so that the next cut again is good enough for the farmers to use. So these are some of the varieties and hybrid traits. Just they are summarized here. Uh, and yeah, how much yield you can expect? About 500 quintal in single cut and up to 1000 quintal in multi cut. And the quality of this green fodder is 6 to 8% protein content and 65 to 70% digestible dry matter. Quintal per hectare digestible dry matter. So this is about 45 to 55% of digestibility. Then stress resistance is also desirable. The plant should be green, just like how we like a very vibrant looking vegetable. So green plant with this damage and no stem border, no leaf disease. That is best for animals to feed. Some of the agronomical practices, I think I will skip because it may not be relevant for everyone. Then quality, I told already about the stage of flowering. Then the yields as well. Then supplementation, because cereals, I told cereal forages are low grade forages, so we can mix them with the legumes like berseem, groundnut cake, or maize, or urea, or molasses, and by that we can improve the digestibility as well as, I mean, that is the nutrition quality. Then I think I already told that the chain poisoning can be managed, so this is how it is. And we see that HCN content comes down after uh, uh, once the plant progresses in growth. So even in those which are having higher HCN early stages, by the time there is flowering, they are all safe. So these are some of the popular hybrids. This is a multi-cut hybrid, very popular, and this is giving up to 900 quintal per hectare from 3 to 4 cuts. And of course, farmers have taken even up to 6 cuts and they have maximized the yield. And this is a recent hybrid. Again, this is also in the same range, more than 900 quintal per hectare of for the yield and then protein content and all those things. Yeah. This dimethyl is it is 219.3 quintal. It's not two. No, it's more. It's not so. It just should be one dot which is missing perhaps. Then there are resistant to foliar diseases and uh, things so on. So this is those two are variety hybrids. This is a variety. This variety you see the potential is more than 1,000 quintal per hectare. That is the green for yield potential. So this should be very popular. But then here seed production potential is very less. So because of that reason, the cost of the seed is higher, and it is becoming popular with those farmers who take up seed production on their own. These are the single cut hybrid and variety which are the benchmarks as of now. So in single cut we get about 500 plus quintal per hectare yield, and the flowering is in about 70 to 75 days. And we don't advise to keep more than 80 days because the lignin content goes up later on. So these are the benchmarks. We just saw them. So the digestibility should be above 50%, desirably, and green for the yield, of course, they're all in higher levels as of now, and protein content is in the range of 7.5 to 8.5. So seed production is a problem in forages, I told earlier also, because the seed the panicles are having less number of flowers, and there will be a lot of flower drop, sterility, because the idea of a forage variety is to have more of fodder, more of biomass, and less of resources gone into making the seeds. So that's the compromise again here. Whereas the cost of seed, though it is higher, it is not so much important in the whole lot of things. Only you need say 10 kg seed per hectare. So that takes care of the much of the profitability which you get. So it compensates. And most of the seed production is happening in South India, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. So with more of fertilizer and micronutrient and growth hormones, we can maximize the seed production. And seed production is a challenge, so that's why it can be a good enterprise for entrepreneurs. Because just in case of other crops, you see hybrids are being produced by seed companies, because in the case of varieties, the farmers don't come to the companies again to buy seeds. But whereas in case of forages, because there is no seed being produced, the plants are harvested as flowering, so the demand for seed is there every year. So because of this, forage seed is a good industry for entrepreneurs. Then these are the problems. Okay, I think yeah, these are the concerns for the daily people, and what they should do. It is mentioned here. So some of the hybrids, this is a dual purpose hybrids and varieties in sorghum. So we see that the strawberry is also higher, and with newer and newer hybrids and varieties, there is a higher strawberry release realized. And we also need to mention that these hybrids and varieties also have higher protein content and higher digestibility. This is in case of pearl millet. So pearl millet is another widely adopted millet, and has higher drought tolerance. And again, this is also very popular in those places where you have less water. Only the digestibility of permeability is somewhat lesser than that of sorghum, so that is only a drawback. Otherwise, it is as good as sorghum. It has few insects and disease problems, and even diameter productivity is also higher. So this is in a single scenario, we get 30 to 35 tons or 350 quintal of fodder per hectare. So some of the popular hybrids or varieties of fodder bajra are given here. So about 400 to 450 quintal is the yield, and you can also go for 2 to 3 cuts. Again, it will give more yield. Again, the seed rate and manures, those things are listed here. So basically, all these millets are summer season cereals. Then hybrid Napier bajra. So here you see the green fodder potential is higher. This is per year, per annual yield. Those sorghum was say it was a 5 month yield. So you get to double the yield, and crude protein is also higher, and the sowing seasons, all those things are mentioned here. So here there is no seed; it is all through slips that these plants are being propagated. So we have plenty of varieties which have been developed with the higher yield, and emphasis is for resistance to disease and insects, and protein contents and so on. Even from small millets, we get the green forage, but yields is very less. Like finger millet, you get 12 to 14 tons. Koro millet also similar, and foxtail millet is also amenable for green for the production. We have slight problem of oxalate, so because of this, it can't be fed to the horses, but it's okay. So fodder seed production is an attractive enterprise with assured market and decent returns, because fodder is always in demand. So the market is assured and decent returns are there. And seed is a very cost effective input which can be transported across vast distances at the economy. So it is very usable both for a seed producer as well as for the farmer. I think some of the traits, maybe I'll not go get into this. So about coming to the stover, this is about the dry fodder which is left after harvesting of grain. So if you look at digestibility, so we see that digestibility of sorghum or finger millet is higher than that of rice straw or wheat straw or barley straw and so on. And this is in terms of cattle and this in terms of buffaloes. So it is again the trend is same. Now come to dry matter intake. So dry matter intake of rice and uh, sorghum and finger millet is similar, whereas that of wheat, barley and oats is somewhat less in case of cattle. And in case of buffalo, again the same, except that the rice straw seems to be highly desirable for the buffalo, but nevertheless the resistance is same. It is not higher in any case. Uh, yeah, then straw of other millets can also be used, but again the yields are less. So yields are in the range of say uh, 50, 50 quintals per crop, whereas it is in terms of 120 to 140 quintals in case of sorghum. So the nutrition of the millet stover is also good, especially it's very good in finger millet. In others, it is okay, decent, followed by little millet, but then yield is less. So cereal as a fodder, is it being used? In North India, it is not preferred. The rice straw is not preferred. So that's why we have the paddy stubble problem in Punjab. Then, so we have technologies which can be used for baling, densification, and transport to fodder scarcity areas. Now, fodder scarcity area is a very uncertain term. So when fodder scarcity happens, if there is a drought or flood or there is a crop failure or failure of rains, then there is a fodder scarcity. So predicting fodder scarcity is a very tricky thing. Again, where it will happen, how far is the place. Say, for example, in South India, rice straw usage is very common and it is a premium commodity, whereas in North India it is not used, but then getting rice straw from north to south is not economical. So how you conserve for fodder? So maize stover, unlike the pearl millet and sorghum stover, maize stover are even poor in nutrition because maize crops they exhaust more nutrition compared to these other millet grains. So the stowers on maize is not so good. So this is how it is conventionally done, how the transportation and all those things. Now we come to what is called densification, how to have a make a fodder block or a feed block and can be used during drought period. So where we have the conventional way of transporting on a in a bulky fashion, it has to now come to a density or densified form. So there are two processes. One is silage making. So this is not exactly densification. It's a conservation method where the forage can be conserved for say 6 months to 12 months, depending upon the composition and acceptability. So anaerobic condition, the material is being fermented. So for fermenting, two things are here. One is the foliage as well as the source of starch. The starch could be, say, in a maize silage. The starch is coming from the cob, the grains which are in, say, duff stage or milky stage. The same thing can come from the grains of sorghum or pearl millet. So you can make a silage from all these crops. The fermentation involves microbes which can be also be supplemented by yeast. Then we can have molasses or urea and things like that to supplement the fermentation process. The stage of crop harvest can be 50% flowering to drought stage. And time of harvest is the important because more the starch content, there will be a better fermentation, and the protein content will be higher if it is somewhat early than late. So again, it is a compromise between protein content and the starch content. This is a medium form level silage making. I hope whoever are interested in silage making know about it. It is basically chopping it, then filling the fodder in the silage pit and sealing it, and then it can be taken out after 6 months or whenever required and used for feeding to cattle. The more popular form nowadays is to go for the polythene bag based silage preparation. So the chopping of the fodder is done, and then it is put in a bag with the whatever supplements are to be put. So again, these are very subjective depending on economics. You can have urea, molasses, or sugar syrup, or then whatever. Even you can add a mineral mixture and ash, things like that. So it's only limited by your imagination. Then we have yeah, these are the things which you can add. I have been summarized here. And if you can use formic acid, then it will also increase the intake, and by then it will also increase animal body weight and milk production. You can also add some amount of leguminous forages. You can't add more, because if you add more, again the protein quality comes down, because the protein of legume protein is degraded faster in a fermentation process. So advantages are that you have conserved the fodder for off season, and you are also preserving the nutrition. And disadvantages, it is not exactly disadvantage. It is only that you need to put extra capital, extra effort, and also you see that it is in a correct stage. There's not much of moisture, so that fungus is not there, and it's not forming acid, so that intake will not be affected, and things so on. And as soon as you take out from the silage, go for feeding. Don't keep it for secondary fermentation. So the real conservation step is going for making a feeding block. So the fodder, there it was chopping when it was installation or silage making. So here it is grinding the pelleting, or you can say make the fodder into very small pieces. A hammer mill is generally used, and make smaller particles, and this will improve the bulk density. So you can press them and make into a block, and there is a reduction in size to feeding. Say you can mix 3-4 kinds of water and make it eat, because everything is in the powder form, and improve animal performance, and there will be decrease the feed wastage, and there will be more space available for digestion. So this is a typical block what you find on top left hand side, typical block, and this is a pellet, and these are the machines which are there. So here machines come into play. So machine can be of different category, starting from a manual type to a single block type to a batch block type. This is a batch block type. So here you see the blocks keep coming out, and again this is a pellet type. So here everything is mixed, and under pressure it comes as a pellet. So here block can be of two types. One is simply you have all the fodder being powdered and simply made into a block, maybe using a binding agent, or you can have some of the urea, molasses, mineral mixture, or even fat and the legume fodder added, so that you have a value addition, you have an enrichment, and you give a complete ration in the block itself, and also you can make it more tastier where you increase the intake. So that is one method. And this the bottom right, the block you have is actually simply a store block, store which is ground and made a block. This is useful basically during drought or flood, etc., where only the survival or maintenance of the livestock is important. Otherwise, for routine daily use, we should go for complete feedback technology. So this can be done at different scales. At the dairy scale, that is for the dairy, they have to work out how they are going to economize, because fodder is a high volume and a low value proposition. So how much, what is the other ways of feeding, what are the other sources of fodder available, and those things determine whether we will really go for this feed block or not. This is like fast food. You get everything ready in a block and you can feed the animal. Only thing is animal should get used to eating the block. So it could be in any shape and you can have many things in this. Okay. And it can be stored at least for 1 year, if not more. So what are the typical ingredients? So we can have a cereal for the 25%. Then we can have a brawn. Brawn is rich in oil content as well as protein content. Then we can have oil cake. This increases the intake. We can have mineral mixture so that mineral supplements are given. Then salt and all these things make up the total ration which animal needs. Similarly, here is another one. So here we see that the mustard cake or some of these important wheat bran and molasses, those things are used. You see here in the first one, molasses is not used, whereas here molasses and urea are used. So these are the typical things, and here we have different advantages. Basically, you condense everything, so easy to store, and it is dry, so there is no effect of fungus or something. Then it can be transported and to a places where it is required. So economics will work out. So then we have what is called as chocolates or urea molasses blocks. So here you have a very high amount of molasses and urea. You see 45% percent of urea molasses, 15% of urea, and then everything else. So we also have a binding agent. So here it is sodium bentonite, and we have other things like quicklime, cement, dolomite, magnesium oxide, even starch. They all can be used as a binding agent, and you make this block very tasty for the animal. So we can have a higher urea content and higher molasses content. So now we have seen three kind of blocks. One is the stover block, another one is the complete feed block, and the third one is urea molasses block. So the degree of adoption at farm level varies with local conditions, the economics, and those things. Then characteristics of the basal diet based on the cattle population and what kind of livestock we have, and cost of different ingredients and production systems, and importantly, the end product prices and marketing capacity. So if you are making it as enterprise, then what it is. So this is a low cost manual method. So it is a manually made cake. You can see it is a brick, a feed block which is made by manual method. Then we have a semi-automatic. You can say it is all fed manually, and the blocks are coming in the line. So this is an example in Uttarakhand. Then we have some of the for this we have machinery made. This is from Central Research Institute on goats, Magdum, Uttar Pradesh. So they have made a machine where we can have, this is a low cost machine. This costs about 5 to 6 lakhs. Then we have a single block machine. This is only a slight improvement over what you say on this manual method. So it is only slight improvement. You do one block at a time, and the cost is also lesser, and there is not much maintenance. This example of one of the commercial manufacturers. This is a company in Hyderabad which made sorghum store based blocks. So you can see the composition. Then this is a study on how much space is reduced, storage space is reduced by 3 to 8 times, bulk density is increased, and this is resulting in weight gain and milk yield because of improved nutrition. So this is a study. This is a large scale plant. So this is in National Seed Corporation. So they have a lot of fodder, cereal fodder, as well as legume fodder. So they have a machine which has a 3 ton capacity per day. So such things are on an entrepreneurial level. So finally, to see how this can be an enterprise, whether fodder block can be enterprise. Fodder block can be useful in 2-3 ways. One is for the dairy. If you have a larger dairy, we can have a machine for making blocks which can be used during off season. Or you can also make the chocolates, and you can use whenever you wish to use. And the third thing is you can sell. So what is that you can sell? So as I already told, if there is a drought or shortage of fodder, you can even sell the store block. So that depends on economics. Then you generally this complete feed block are not being sold because it is value added, and the cost is higher, and most of the places where we have a limited window during which you have water crisis, so people think, okay, now there is a water crisis. Once we have the new crop coming or the rains coming, then you have much of water, so they don't feel that the nutritional blocks may be important. So that is also there. So only a possibility are two things. One is if you have a government scheme, or if there is a dairy union, which they know the value of a complete feed block and they are ready to pay for it. So even for setting up these feed blocks, the government has some subsidies or financial support from time to time. Especially we have had a National Livestock Mission. Then NDD we have some financial support. Some of the dairy unions also give some support, or they may buy with the assured buying the rate, price, and so on. So those are the benefits which are to be tapped. Why? Because without when those are available, if they are tapped, then it makes the enterprise more viable. Because coming to the slide point 1, demand is highly seasonal and volatile, and demand as well as scarcity for aggregation occur simultaneously. Say when you are want to make a fodder block, you want fodder. So where it is available? Because there is scarcity, so there is a demand for block. So you should have had advanced planning. You should have made a
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yeah.
Next speaker already joined, sir. I think.
Okay. Yeah, my last slide. This is
Yeah. Okay, sir.
just
Thank you, sir.
winding up.
Thank you, sir.
So you have to plan in advance how many blocks to make and keep, and also what is the raw material which is to be used, and the quality also is important. Then the machinery to be set up and the source of other material also need to be worked out. So urea and molasses, where to source from, where is the cheaper one, and what binding agents are to be used, and those things need to be worked out. And finally, the bottom line is that need to network with dairies, dairy unions, and animal husbandry departments so that you maximize the market reach and reach you break even at an early stage. Yeah, thank you. That's what I want to say.